Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now, I want to tell you this here and try to help you understand this. Is if you notice with this P. Diddy situation, Cassie eventually left the relationship and did not lose her life. So, what that means is she could have left the relationship in the first year or the second year and she would not have lost her life. Because when it comes to abuse, abuse gets worse the longer you stay. The longer you are in it, it's like winding up a jack in the box. When you do that first wind, you could let that wind, you could let it go and ain't nothing gonna happen. The more you keep winding and winding and winding, eventually it's gonna pop out that box. And the lesson is to leave early, because when you leave early, meaning when you recognize the red flags and you leave early, you miss so much pain. Think about this. If a woman is with an abuser for 10 years and this man has her doing everything under the sun, that's so many bodies that she has to sleep with. So many fights, meaning not fights, meaning times she gets hands put on her. So many times that you got to go through that. That if you leave early, I'm not talking about the women who have already been through it. The women who they didn't leave until the 5th year or the 10th year or the 20th year. I'm talking to you. When you get into a relationship and you see red flags, don't stay because somebody else stayed. Don't stay thinking that it's going to be a better opportunity for escape 10 years down the line. Don't stay thinking that, oh, if I stay longer, the person is going to get softer and they're going to get more lax and the person is going to get over me. They're going to be over me to where they don't want to hold me. They don't want to trap me. Don't stay because of that. Leave early. The earlier you leave, the better off you're going to be. You're going to have less soul ties. You're going to have less bruises, less scars. You're going to have less traumatic experiences. It is better to leave early and be making a mistake than to stay longer and know without a shadow of a doubt that you're with an absolute abuser. It's better to leave early because they showed the signs of abuse than to stay to find out if they actually are or aren't. And if they aren't, you don't have to worry about that because they're not going to show the signs early. You're going to be able to move on with your life. And here's what you got to realize and understand. People who are actually crazy don't show you they crazy. And I'm speaking in generalities, meaning when somebody crazy, you find out when it's too late. If somebody keep doing things that look like they crazy, but you keep living to tell the story, that is a perpetrator. See, a killer ain't gonna have a conversation with you. A killer gonna take you out before you even see him or her coming. When somebody keep doing you wrong, but you keep getting to live through it, talk through it, they talking through it, you talking through it, you keep going and going and going, That's when you know when you dealing with somebody who trying to be something that they aren't. That's the type of person that you know you could lead. Because if they wanted you dead, you already be dead. So if somebody keep beating you within an inch of your life, somebody keep doing something to you to where, and you keep getting to get up and walk away from it, your best bet is to leave. Now the comments is off on this because I don't need nobody else terrible advice. Let mine be bad enough for itself, because people on here come to hear me talk, not them bad advice takes that be in the comments from a random account. Somebody just doing the devil's work. Hush. We don't want to hear it. We do not want to hear it. Listen, you can't play with this stuff. You can't play with this stuff. See, the thing about it is, if you notice, even with P. Diddy, he ain't crazy. Because Cass is still living. Alex still living. Her husband. Kid Cudi still living. You notice that the people that he could have took out over and over and over and over and over again, they live. He let them live. That's what lets you know he ain't crazy. Majority of the people who get into being abusive are not crazy. They want a human punching bag. They want a human teddy bear. They want somebody that they could take everything out on. They don't want it. They don't want to just end somebody, because then they lose their teddy bear. So they want to keep you intact to where they could put you back together. If somebody don't want no teddy bear, they just throw the teddy bear in the trash or just rip it all apart where it can't even be sold back up. But when they just pluck out an eye and just keep the rest of the teddy bear, they don't want to lose that teddy bear. They just want to take out a little bit of pain on that teddy bear. That's how a lot of abusive humans use a human being as a human teddy bear. That's what it's for. So you got to take this situation like with this P. Diddy thing and get the lesson to say, hey, if you playing crazy but you ain't killing me, I'm not fixing to stick around to see. You gonna have to take me out when I'm leaving. And you don't leave when they in the heat of the moment with a gun in your face or a knife at your throat. You don't leave then. You leave when they go to work. You leave when they go to sleep. You leave when they go out of town on business. You still have to be strategic now. You got to plan your escape. And you got to go and get gone. And you have to make sure that you confronting your thoughts, your emotions, your trauma. And you got to make sure that you don't go into a place to where that what you're going through start to give you your worth, give you your meaning, make you feel special, make you feel like, oh, somebody loved me. And that's the place where a lot of people will go. They'll say, oh, if you put hands on me. I remember I had an ex-girlfriend told me that. She said, I believe that if you won't put hands on me, you don't love me. You know why? Because she had saw the people that she loved be abused. All the women that she loved, her mom and her sisters, was all abused. So she started to equate abuse with love. Catch yourself and make sure you ain't going there. Make sure that's not your belief system. See, love speaks languages of its own, and abuse is not one of them. So you got to understand that, and you got to realize that somebody who truly, truly loves you will not willingly and repeatedly, intentionally hurt you. Somebody could love you and hurt your feelings. Somebody can love you and hurt you, because every human is flawed. But somebody who really, really loves you is not going to repeatedly and continuously hurt you and keep telling you that they love you. If you are in pain, then you are not in love. If you are not being taken care of emotionally, then you don't have love. If the person you with hurt you and they apologize and then they hurt you again and again and again and again, they do not love you, because they do not know what love is, and that's why they don't love themselves. So you got to understand that, and a lot of people don't. Get that in your spirit and walk away. Because listen to me. If you stay, you're going to die. So you might as well take your chances leaving when the opportunity strikes. When I first was expressing that, and it was so many women who had done went through and stayed in those situations. But now I just was out with my wife and her friends and her 3 friends. Now my wife was quiet on the issue. Her 3 friends, they all said that while they feel like Cassie was a victim, they feel like to a degree she knew what she was getting into. She knew she wanted that lifestyle. She knew she wanted that fame. And then I was with a young lady today who is an attorney and, single and dating, said the same thing. So now I'm hearing, and one of the young ladies who's in her late 40s said her mom, who they Hispanic, who is in her probably 60s or 70s, said that same thing, said she wasn't a victim. Say it was plenty of opportunities for her to leave. And I think a lot of times these opinions of what you should do, when you should do it, it could get in your head, it could get in your way. Everybody gonna feel different ways about the situation, how they gonna feel. Now these women I'm quoting women. And it's a lot of women who done said the same thing. And then it's a lot of women who saying, no, she couldn't leave. She had no opportunity to leave. She was in the cycle of abuse, and you incapable of leaving, and things like that. So it's gonna be divided down the middle. But what you have to do, if you dating or you getting ready to start dating, you gotta still analyze. You gotta take a picture, make your assessment, and then you gotta decide, how am I gonna handle the situation if I get confronted with something like this right here. You gotta get the knowledge. You gotta learn the cycles of abuse, so that before you even get ushered into it, you recognize it before it even happened, and you able to stop it before it starts, because you already preparing for it. So think about this thing, because this thing is this is real. This ain't just about Cassie and Diddy little situation. They situation, this I'm talking about everyday people in everyday life going through this. And you gotta be prepared. You gotta have a plan, and you got to be ready to go. And I'm gonna tell you, the first sign, leave. The first sign, leave. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. Do not wind up that jack in the box. Leave before you end up losing it all. And it costs you everything. You got to go. So, hey, this Tony Gassman. God bless you. And keep your head up. If you going through right now, I'm praying for you. I'm wishing you the best. Pray for wisdom, for strength, for courage. And I pray you find the time and the opportunity to make the move that you need to make if you need to make a move. But hey, this is Tony Gaskins. God bless you. All the important links in the description. We'll talk soon.